from the kayfabe compounds around the world. With all the news that's fit to be tied, we're back here. Let me adjust the camera. Looking small. Can't let Stevie look like the tallest.
Yeah. Say Bleeze on your shirt?
Please. Pro Wrestling Bleeze, right out of Chicago. One of the companies that I definitely shut down along with 2CW. So can't wait to put Crossfire Wrestling out of business and move on to a new territory here soon with the Conspiracy Horsemen. We also, we killed Dynasty. So, man,
Dynasty.
Yeah.
That is my favorite.
Who's next? Immortal, you could be next, and we're coming to your town because the Conspiracy Horsemen give no fucks anymore. You can throw us off TV that will never be on because we're going to stay underground, and if that's how we have to keep it raw, well, baby, you know that we like it raw because check it, we think like the man behind the register, Evergreen Smoke Estates, divine and power made us great. That's right, infidels. It's a divine intervention here tonight with some powerful minds, and you can join the fray here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen as we catch you up on Alex Jones, Leonard Posner, war, false flags, and whoever the fuck is going on because we got to break it all down. It's a time trap here at the Conspiracy Horsemen. Y'all, man. It's a whirlwind right now, and took GGP out. He's out in Oz trying to get back home, so hopefully if he can get the run in, maybe he will, but it's probably going to be a three-man booth, but we got to shoulder the weight of the world tonight, you guys. A lot of follow-up stories of what's going on, but before we get into it, head and shoulders, say what's up to my man representing tonight, that new day, wild card swag. He's on every show. His newest show dropped today, Breaking Sal, as he breaks it down and goes nuclear on the SJW Dungeons & Dragons gaming world. And it's a hot show. I was laughing my ass off. Already a lot of props to it, so check it out. New episode of Breaking Sal. My co-host, the big man himself, Sally Graziano. How you doing, Sally?
Good. So let me get this straight. You are saying that GGP is part of the Lollipop Guild?
He very well could. I mean, there's no union in wrestling, so he had to go somewhere. And the Lollipop is a guild, and they have good benefits, man. Because somebody drops a house on you, your family is covered. Or up to you get a whole piece of yellow brick road for yourself. So,
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep up a lot of shit today. Again, on sort of vacation. So, trying to keep up. There's a lot of shit happening. So,
and when a lot of shit happens, the wrestler in us say, what of that is a misdirection spot? Why am I looking over here to not look what's going on with the heels? The ref draw.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're hoping to break this down because I know when I won't get into it now, but when I saw some of the shit come down on mainstream, when I'm watching with the missus, I was like, and I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And everybody's just kind of looking at me like, "Dude, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Don't even. I'm not allowed to get into this here."
Well, I'm anxious to hear your take on the lamestream because I haven't seen it. I'm pretty much internet only and hacker Hameen, deep internet. But a guy who's always deep in thought, deep in stretch, deep knee bends, deep squats, all the fitness regimen you need to achieve the fountain of youth. Look at him. Handsome, styling, profiling, no just for men. He really looks that good with no makeup. Better than Nikki Cross. It's Stevie Richards, you guys.
Russo last night on Raw SmackDown review when we were recording that was man crushing on me. He was watching stuff from like 20 years ago, believe it or not, Sal. Myself and Mick Foley, with me being the fake dude Love versus the Dudleys. So that's an Attitude Era thing right there. And Bubba hit me so fucking hard in the head with a trash can. This is before the match, backstage by the chain link fence that Raw used to have on the interview set. Hit me so fucking hard, and like, thank God, because they probably beat me up more in the ring, and I just don't remember it. I couldn't feel it. I was numb by then, so probably just they turned me around. I was probably walking out the fucking the tractor trailer doors where they come in, and they just turned my body, and I just started going towards the ring like a robot. But we were talking about, by the way, the topics and everything. We didn't say that through the chat, and I just realized that as we were starting to record and talk about distractions, misdirections, the Iran thing is the biggest misdirection spot, like, pretty much. I mean, well, we can talk about that in a minute, but I wasn't sure exactly what the misdirection spot was supposed to be with Iran, because I'm like, there might be one on the surface, but then we think like workers, and it's like, what's the deep underground thing that we can't even dig for now because it's been completely overtaken on the internet by this.
In Bilderberg we just did that show. They just met, and then everything lines up in the trigger of, well, let's do this. It's a fucking Jake move. But yeah, I'm anxious to talk about it and give shout out real quick to the chat room here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. Bang Biscuits in there making us these awesome signs for our labs down here. You can see over my right shoulder and the Conspiracy Horseman one back there, along with my new 3D printed. I don't know if you guys see, I've got Skull and Bones skull back there. I don't know if you can see. I'll move the mic.
Yeah, we can see it. We got it.
Yeah, pal. So I got to make a 322 for that. But I wanted to put myself over and say, Sal, I made you this. After the Breaking Sal, it's nice case, probably one of the cleanest 3D prints I've had. It's bad, nice. And but I have some clear PLA plastic, and I just downloaded some dice. So hopefully they fit this. I'm not sure if there's a standard size. I'm green when it comes to regulation of gaming dice. I know you can get them all shapes and sizes.
I have a nice metal set that'll go in there.
Okay, well, I got that, and I've got the Big Sally brass knuckles, which I'll mail to the Fortress of Solitude. And
Sweet.
Got a little echo and modulation, Sal, on your mic. I'm sure you're hearing it.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Can I do anything to get rid of it, or is that you guys? Can you
maybe unplug and plug again, maybe?
But I didn't want to say shout out to the chat. Matt Schaffer in there. Purdue 9600 with 1,000 bits. Extra cheering bits. Check. Go ahead. Check it, buddy. Now I can't hear you at all.
There we go.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
X Butcher, Rat Salad Review, Nick Metal, Disco Ultravolta, K Bob, and I'm John Finnegan. See you all in there, guys. Appreciate you joining us early as the signal flare goes up. To let you know that we're live. No GGP probably tonight. It's summertime. You got to get out there and kick those people out of those houses. They're not going to go willingly. So he's out regulating. But yeah, people want to know what we're doing. So there is a lot going on, as Stevie mentioned. Obviously the Iran thing, people hitting us up, and our own top politicians saying the words false flag out of the gate. Sal looking up, I'm sure, with the Alex Jones stuff is what he's been on, as CNN tries to pump that out. And, there's other things that are big slipping through the cracks that I want to hit of, like, we'll start it out with a little bit, not lighter, but off those big topics is I sent it, and we didn't even really talk about it that much, but how about the 1,000 earthquakes in California? Like we get so hyped up about human things, and to me, when nature says "fuck you," watch me show you how small you are. That's always way more important to me.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. So they went. Usually, I read it was anywhere from 37 to 110 was the average, and last month they had over 1,000. Like 37 to 110, the average for the last 80 years.
Yeah.
Like, what's going down, man?
Well, again, this goes into that. There could be a bunch of different things. Most what I look at automatically is the fault lines are fucking each other up, rubbing against each other, et cetera, or it's because there's so much underground tunneling that's starting to actually affect the fault lines even more.
They're calling it swarm. No, not swarm again. Is that something else? Swarm of earthquakes.
The 1,000 earthquakes that hit California.
Yeah, swarm again.
Yeah.
Now I want shawarma. But
well, the thing with that is that California's been due for a big one in forever. I mean, the earthquakes, that is a completely natural thing and a cycle that happens out there through those fault lines. The other thing is, obviously, you mix in overpopulation, you mix in resource, destroying the resources, doing whatever you can to basically human beings act like locusts. I sent you guys that cartoon which summed it up, of this guy walking through and just destroying everything, animals, nature, any kind of beauty on the planet is just getting destroyed by this guy in this cartoon. I forget the name of it, but we can share it with people if we find it. It's just, like you said, the earth and nature are always going to give you the last fucking receipt. They're always going to say, fuck you. And it's going to go back. There's going to be a correction of some sort. And then when people get shocked because there's earthquakes and you got 24 million people living just in Los Angeles, and you expect, like, what the fuck? This is terrible. And this is the thing that's fucked up. And Katrina in New Orleans and all that stuff proved it. We are not a proactive society. We are very much horse blinders. And then when it happens, it's like, holy shit. Like, what? No, we had no idea.
Yeah. And here's, let me put this out there, because you could be spot on with the locust and human beings. But when it comes to this shit, I think that's our own ego and self-importance. I think you could fucking drive semis on diesel fuel and pollute whatever you want to do out there, jackhammer, and even frack. And that might have a little bit to do with it, maybe 2%. But you know me, man, when you talk about fake titles, the Planet X Division champion is undefeated. And when I see activity like this of that just can't be blamed, especially 1,000% increase in a very short amount of time. And I also saw in our news feeds, I'm sure it popped up because it was actually from a year ago, but they say this 560 megaton meteor space rock has 27 chances over the next 100 years to hit Earth. Now, I'm not putting it on that one meteor, but these meteors are just coming in and, having a chance, and they're seeing them. Yeah, our technology has gotten that advanced, but they're coming in because of another reason. And I believe it's Planet X getting closer, and that, gravitational force, that wobble that shifts our poles that we can't feel is exactly why those things are really grinding their teeth against each other on that fault line right now and causing this type of shit. And then it's backed up by these little side stories about a 560 megaton bomb size meteor hitting the planet is just like a blow off thing. So, not to dispel like, oh, it's man and we're fucking up. We're no more than ants right now on an ant.
It's tremor.
Okay. That's another highly plausible scenario, but I don't know. We got California heads out there right now. How bad are they? What's going on? Are people losing property value? Because I know you can't insure on earthquakes and all that shit, can you?
Stevie?
Well, you should be able to, but the insurance rates are probably super, super high. And then the insurance companies will just hope that people aren't alive to collect, which more than likely, if the big one does hit for that, not the big one saying like SummerSlam in August, but imagine if it fucking happened then and the ratings still don't go up. Like nobody will watch it anyway.
This earthquake better be as good or better than the last
earthquakes in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, exactly.
But this Planet X thing, though, this is the thing where it starts to look like, now there is evidence over the past almost 40 years since that one, I think it was a Harvard professor, published a paper in like early 80s, correct? Talking about Planet Nine.
Mm-hmm.
But people, if you don't give it to them on the first or second, declaration, it doesn't exist to them. Like if you legitimately don't have anything like that, like to show them.
Nope.
But just go on to the next. I'll use the analogy again. That Planet X could be in our orbit now with the moon, which is supposedly in our atmosphere, which should be fucking groundbreaking, should be life stopping in a way. Like the moon is in our atmosphere. How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah.
But when you look at the fact that, there's a planet coming, and even if the planet was in, like, say, right by the moon, or we had two suns in the sky, which we've seen video of on numerous occasions. Oh, cool. Cool. That's cool. What's on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people actually thought because Raw was in LA that it was Nia Jax's comeback that she was going to make her debut there. Sal, why would you make me? Sal actually texted me that and made me say that on the air.
That's rude.
Appreciate the all the aspects as we break it down. I just think when we're talking Bilderberg and these real heads know about it, not the rapist janitors, but the reason to fly in with a Black Hawk helicopter, whoever they took out who was a whistleblower or what have you at the Sun Conservatory.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, same thing. Little whistleblower, right? Scout whistle. Something bigger is going on in the picture of it all to hush it up. And then when a Bilderberg meeting goes down, they go, yeah, we're fucked. We can try and launch nukes at it. But in the meantime, what can we do to claim more wealth off of this, push our carbon tax agenda, make people feel guilty so we can turn around and make more money off it as masters of the universe?
Which is ridiculous in its way that you're still looking for something that isn't worth shit if something's going to hit the planet.
Right. You're right. You're looking for worthless money and backed by a fake gold currency, but to stay in power instead of really knowing, like, if a 560 megaton meteor hit it, or if the Earth's, forget about even an impact scenario, the Earth's fucking axis goes by 3 or 4 degrees, and now the new coastline is at the west end of Pennsylvania. That's something no one is prepared in their mind for wealth-wise on how to deal with that shit. And 1,000 earthquakes step up, to me, is more probable of something far beyond our reach and control in our own galaxy.
Sorry to leave. I was going to jump in on something with about. So Trump just had the thing with George Snuffleupagus on TV, and they had a whole big thing, the 30 days inside the White House, 30 hours in the White House, whatever the fuck it was.
Did he cut a promo on Shaun White?
I was waiting for. Actually, he was talking about UFOs.
Okay.
And now I'm trying to load the page, and it won't fucking load.
I wonder if that's your internet. Yeah, your audio caught up, but when you first start talking, Sal, it like really double and triples up. I don't know if it's a cable connection on your microphone or just internet connection. It sounds fine now, but when you notice that, Ben, when he says, now you're good.
Okay.
But if you don't talk for a while, it's like the packets have to catch up with your voice. So I'm using that old fucking DSL terminology, packets.
Wow. This guy is such an audiophile. While Sal looks, the seismic storm that unleashed more than 1,000 small earthquakes in San Bernardino and Riverside counties the last 3 weeks listed was become a typical reaction in quake country. To some, Swarmageddon, 40 miles east of downtown L.A., brought the fear that a big threat was coming. To others, as long as they didn't feel a shake, it was easy just to put it out of their minds. California has small quakes all the time, a magnitude 3 every other day on average, but not all of them act the same, and some bring more dangers than others. As officials install more seismic sensors as a part of the state's early warning system, experts are getting increasingly better look at California's smaller earthquakes. There's a general agreement that this recent swarm probably isn't a precursor to a catastrophic quake, but other small quakes, especially ones near major fault lines in the San Andreas, are potential warnings. Quote says, I would redefine normal as you should still be prepared for a large earthquake, says the USGS research geophysicist Andrea Lanos. We do know a big earthquake is going to happen, just not when and where. So fear porn, fear mongering. But the latest trio is measured above 4.0. So the fault line is capable of producing about an 8.2, which is your house ain't here no more.
Well, the only reason I brought that up, I hear it now, Stevie. So the only reason I brought that up, Ben, was because maybe the earthquakes, that's all the pilots that are coming out and saying they saw this, they saw that, making a lot of reports as of late. A lot of Navy pilots are reporting that they're seeing UFOs in the sky, and it's coinciding with, again, this strip of quakes. Could there be a connection? So
the UFO connection coincides with the strip of where the earthquakes are being,
or some connection, because again, you're going to have to take all where each one of these sightings were, and then what's the relativity, or is it something happening there and this is happening to distract? It's the hey, look over here, and then that happens.
Stevie, wow, I heard myself buzz there. Stevie, this guy's been on vacation all day and could have easily gotten his notes out. He could have had notes. He could have gone through, drawn the whole correlation that he just laid out here and done the legwork. How do you feel about that?
I feel worse about the packets that we're losing on each syllable. Do you think this is a situation? Let's dip in and out a little bit of predictive programming. Obviously, Armageddon is something that this could potentially be, kind of like an analogy for that. But remember the movie The Core, where they had the weather weapon, the earthquake weapon, and it shut the Earth's core down. So they had to take this, look like a giant black dildo, which they had to take into the center of the Earth to restart the core because everything was fucking up. Earthquakes. There was no shift. There was a lot of stuff going on the planet. It's a pretty cool movie if you watch it. But do you think because HARP, the weapons we've been using, the Rod of God stuff, all the things that we've been doing,
blatant about geoengineering now, the chemtrails that started it all with us, really?
Just adding up in a cumulative effect. I mean, I have no doubt that there's stuff happening extraterrestrially or something like that, but maybe those are the ones that are monitoring, like, hey, maybe it would have been 2,000 earthquakes, maybe it would have been a 10 or a 15 on the Richter scale, and maybe just speculation, maybe the UFOs who have been known in the past to shut down nuclear missiles so they didn't get launched, maybe this is another thing of kind of like intervening to keep us from being dumb fucks and destroying ourselves.
It absolutely could be of them being that guide, that's even in the Sumerian text of that the Anunnaki were here to protect and reseed and repopulate. Are the Anunnaki behind the next mega wipeout to come in and land after that? Why would they show up ahead of time as a Noah's Ark thing when they're like, we know what the fuck's going to happen every 3,600 years. We just got to follow this son of a bitch.
Well, you just said it best. There may be a 560-ton megaton or 560 megaton asteroid. There might be a planet coming, and all these people are thinking about is the fucking stock market. Like, come on, man.
Papers. Yep. Like they have, and those people, sure, they have an army of people that serve them and wait on them. But when it comes down to it, if they were the last ones to crawl out of the ashes, everybody else is gone. Their Ozark Mountain gets drilled and leveled too, and some reason one or two crawl out, and they're the last. They're the new Adam and Eve. Do they know how to chop wood, carry water, how to find onions in the woods and things to survive and things like that? No, they are.
What they're going to do, they're going to find the fucking four-eyed mutants that live out there. Well, actually, the ones who survived and nothing happened to them, all the Melungeons that live up in the Appalachians.
Yeah,
and they're just going to tell them how to till the land and build them a cabin. That's all
they're
going to
put them on a fucking spit roast like the Ewoks did to the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Which, how fucking disturbing is that scene, by the way? Nobody ever talks about how
they ate them.
They fucking murdered and ate the stormtroopers. They cooked them.
The cute little teddy bears.
They're not really people, though. They're clones. So it's like genetically engineered meat.
Clones taste just like people.
That's what.
So the point I was making with Trump anyway was that Trump no-sold the whole question. And he's like, I don't believe in him. Don't believe in him. And I have faith in the United States Navy pilots and the Air Force pilots. I believe the guys up there to know what they saw. So if they can't identify it, it must be something they've never seen. Like, he totally fucking ran around the question.
Right. So he said he's not a believer to toe the line, but then he puts the heat on them, and because they're qualified, and then fucking so what did they say? I don't know what the fuck it was. It was UFO. Okay, it's a UFO then. I don't believe, but I didn't see it.
So Stephanopoulos kept pushing on him, and he says to him, do you think you'd know if there were evidence of extraterrestrials? And in response, he replies, our great pilots would know, and some of them see things that are a little bit different than in the past. And he goes, we're going to see, we'll watch, you'll be the first to know. So that's the second time he said that. He said that on the campaign trail in 2016. Somebody asked him about UFOs, and he says, "Trust me, if I find out, you'll find out." So
I wouldn't doubt
that out.
With as big a deep state war that's going on, that they're kayfabing him on that shit for sure, bro. You know what I mean?
They were like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, like the people who have been dealing with them since Roswell and handed down generation, they're like, "Nah, dude, they're not getting in here. We're not bringing any of that bullshit in this facility. Like, we're not. No."
Here's the thing, though. Please don't fucking. As much as I love Dr. Janda and all the people that do those kinds of videos supporting this Q stuff and, you know, making videos about it's finally going to happen and this fucking long game bullshit, I just totally disagree with it. Like we always talk about, what the fuck are you waiting for? Like, what is the, like, you got to trust them. It's the long game. It's this and that. Like, oh, the second term. Now we're 8 years in. I'm in my fucking 50s going, what the fuck? I'm waiting for the long game. Jesus Christ.
We're done with this Corey Feldman shit, man. Fuck that.
Which he still hasn't come out with his deal yet, so we got to say fuck you to him too, right?
Well, did you give him money or no?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't give him money, then it's your fault.
Well, here's the deal. Let's put a poll in the chat room. Would you rather me give the money to Corey Feldman?
If we put a poll in the fucking chat room, Armand's going to strip and dance all over it, so let's not do that.
Okay.
Looks like there's some dumb cunt in the chat room. Scurvy Nuts Lamont, welcome. And please go to prowrestlingtees.com/BenAmin and get the $5 face slap shirt. Come on out to a show and I'll hook you up real quick. So that was a strange, obviously, occurrence. But to go off of that, how about those 4 tornadoes that from like 2 months ago? Remember they were seeing tornado patterns that they hadn't seen as well. So in more anomalous weather, you know, we can talk weather weapons, HARP, and all that. But when the phrase "never been seen before" happens, it's either a WWE women's match or, you know, some type of weather. One of those two. So, yalla. Anybody else got anything to add before we move on?
Yeah.
No, just I don't want to play the long game anymore. I fucking can't stand it. I'm done with it.
That's rough. Speaking of Trump, this was a good gear switch shift, and I was like, ho, you want to talk everything we've been talking about? Is Trump says, I think I know who was behind the 9/11 attacks as we come off the red.
It's gonna pop. It's just like, dude, you just say fucking words. Like, just say them, you know? I'm sorry.
No, it pops me too, especially after all the Saudi shit we've been through. President Trump says he knows who's behind the September 11, 2001 attacks, telling ABC News' George Snuffleupagus, Iraq did not knock down the World Trade Center, shocker, adding, it were other people. And I think I know who the other people were, and you might also. Nearly 3,000 people died when 19 mostly Saudi terrorists hijacked 4 passenger planes, flying them into the Twin Towers in the Pentagon, while the 4th went down in Pennsylvania field after passengers allegedly fought back. Astonishingly, the passports of the 3 hijackers were recovered, 2 at the Pennsylvania crash site, 1 from World Trade Center grounds. While nobody claimed responsibility for the attacks for several months, the NSA and German intelligence reported intercepting communications pointing to the al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, after which investigators linked the 19 hijackers to the terrorist organization al-Qaeda. Trump segued from his 9/11 comments into criticism of America's military intervention in the Middle East, calling it the worst decision made in the history of our country, describing the region like quicksand. It was a terrible decision to go to the Middle East, said Trump, adding, we're almost up to $8 trillion, and when we want to build a roadway, highway, or school or something, everyone's always fighting over money. It's ridiculous. So that was a bad decision. It goes on here. It says Trump came under fire during 2016 election when he claimed there were people cheering on the other side of New Jersey, where you have a large Arab populations, adding they were cheering as the World Trade Center came down. Defending his comments, Trump pointed to a September 18th, 2001 Washington Post article, which reads, in Jersey City, within 2 hours of jetliners plowing into the World Trade Center, law enforcement authorities detained and questioned a number of people who were allegedly seen celebrating the attacks and holding tailgate-style parties on rooftops while they watched the devastation on the other side of the river. In April, after he tweeted a montage of 9/11 attacks interspersed with Somali American rep Ilhan Omar, Democrat from Minnesota, is downplaying the incident, as some people did on March 23rd for a council on America-Islamic relations. But also, after the arrest of the aftermath, were the so-called 5 dancing Israelis, which locals reported were celebrating around New Jersey. Let's see. Sorry, one more line. In 2002, a high-ranking American intelligence official told Forward magazine that the men were, quote-unquote, conducting a Mossad surveillance mission using their employer, Urban Moving Systems of Weehawken, New Jersey, as a front. According to 2002 report by ABC News, the FBI suspected the same. Now, this doesn't mention the Israeli art students who had a spot in World Trade Center 2 who actually were taking pictures with the ceiling out and removed glass to the outside, and the boxes were traced back to a demolition company that had blasting caps under the same stock number. And that's a lot of that's been scrubbed from the internet as well. So here we are with Trump doing the roundabout again, really pointing finger at Mossad and the Jews, and that the 5 dancing Israelis, kind of going back on his Arab stuff a little bit, right on the heels of Netanyahu opening that new part over there and naming it after Trump, like the new settlement, something Trump, as a fuck you.
Well, don't forget that they had the. Oh, I'm echoing now. Jesus Christ!
It's Skype.
Pick up your packets.
Let me see here. Pick up your packets. It's the name of the show. I don't know if it was the art students or the other group. They went on a talk show overseas and talked about them being there and documenting the event. The event.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so where are we here? I mean, we see Trump go to Saudi Arabia, bow to the masters, and talk directly to them as kind of like, I'll stand in your house and do it, as balls out. We see the weird glowing globe, New World Order shot, Saturnalia, whatever the fuck that was that they did. But here we have Mossad agents posed as movers doing surveillance, jumping up and down like it's a fucking Vegas demolition that they planned and came through, right? So maybe those guys were out there. The other team is implanted in the World Trade Center. They're the movers to get shit to them, right? Under moving cover, blasting caps, demo comp, whatever it is. What was the incendiary device?
Thermite,
nanothermite. Thank you. And all this shit. So maybe they were on a 3 and 4 month op with them going in at 2 a.m, getting everything fucking set up. And he's alluding to it. And, this is where the deep state war comes in. But about 19, how are you going to do a Mossad op with 19 Saudi hijackers, but then the fucking passports are planted, all the bullshit? Were there really 19 Saudi hijackers? Who knows, man?
Well, here's the thing. As far as saying it's a Mossad operation, I'm just going to go out on a limb. Not that I know any Mossad agents, but shit goes down. I don't think a Mossad agent would be jumping up and down, exposing themselves, going, "Woo, we did it!" Like, I don't think that's going to be their first go-to move.
Maybe,
because think about it, just look at all the time you had to have put in, keeping your mouth shut, keeping the cover over yourself, and then to have people around to show you dance and jump up and down. I'm going to say not a Mossad agent. That's just me.
Do you think there was one that said, "This is the dance," and they all started dancing?
And they all started dancing up and down. They all drank the Kool-Aid and all were like, "Yeah!" Yeah.
In New York, it's very likely. By the way, I think I know who did it. Okay, President Feldman, tell us who the fuck did it. Don't start a GoFundMe. Come on.
You
can't
find
say
out
shit like that.
In my new movie, Fahrenheit 9/11 Part 2 with Michael Moore.
Yeah. We know why WWE Creative sucks.
Mm-hmm. You can find out.
GoFundMe.
RussoFan.com, Patreon. Man, it's bullshit that we have to put the brakes on for the Nancy Browns when he's obviously got something in his fucking hand to put out there. And what's that going to do? That's just going to fan the flames of QAnon and fuck up the information flow. Sure, some of it will come out and be broken down even more, but this not getting a straight answer bullshit is the wrong fucking move going into an election year, in my opinion, unless he's really just waiting to start fucking hammering out literally the trump cards September, October, yada, yada, yada. Here's the fucking big follow-up. Oh, wait, I might have lost it, so I'm watching the spot here myself. NBC was reporting on, Clinton White House sex ring, pedophile ring going on during that time. Shit, I think I X'd out of it. Oh.
Just the one you said in the chat in the messenger, talking about how she was that's funny that the clickbait title was basically talking about her running the pedophile ring. Trump to run in 2020, like he was a part of the, you know what I mean? They connected their names somehow. That couldn't have been by accident.
It was a cover up. This is weird. This is not the story I had. I don't know if somebody can find that.
I'm looking for it now. I'm getting
this is another weird headline that may be related to a former heavy metal musician who worked for Obama's half brother is pushing pedophile news on Facebook. This is from March 4th, 2019.
As you do.
NBC admits Hillary Clinton used her job to cover up pedophile rings for a high-profile friend when she was Secretary of State. Sally, go ahead, take it away.
Well, NBC starts it off with, as Trump prepares to expose the real culprits behind 9/11 and Iran war rooms, here's a broadcast you don't want to miss, and then it goes into the NBC bullshit. Where'd it go? And it's fucking gone. Hang on. Seriously.
Yeah, that's what happened to mine, too. It was there and then goes.
Are you fucking kidding?
I'll see if I got it right here on this other alt site.
And by the way, Tim Pool did a video today. He was the one from the Joe Rogan podcast who interviewed Jack Dorsey from Twitter. There's a law being introduced to basically stop like online censorship, like what we're doing, what we're not seeing right now. And guess what? All the big tech companies are against it. How in the fuck does that make sense? Like, we're again, we want you to have a platform, but we want to be able to censor each and everything that you put up. It just doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it's because they want to push everybody into a new internet where they know they can go unregulated again.
It's Ministry of Information. It's Viva Vendetta right there. It's literally just controlling the flow of information. We have stuff, just like you just said, and with Sal's experience, and there's literally stuff from 9/11 conspiracy videos. There's stuff from other stuff. There's probably stuff from the JFK stuff way back, the original supposed conspiracy theory, out there, Gulf of Tonkin, all this stuff in another generation of videos is going to be completely gone, and no one's ever going to even know if we continue to talk about it, what the fuck we were even saying.
Just going through it, I just even tried looking it up on a couple different ones, and
I get a BuzzFeed story where it ends up putting it off as false.
Pizzagate, Anatomy of a Fake News Scandal, Rolling Stone, 3 conspiracy theorists, Pizzagate, involved in child trafficking, no. Pedophile cover-up, no.
What's that, WikiLeaks?
It's WikiLeaks.
Click on it. No.
No. But Alex Jones, most ridiculous stories. So it's like those are the like the top 10 on a couple of his different search engines is the shit that comes up because it's gone.
It's getting scrubbed as fast as it comes out because it was everywhere this afternoon, and when I just tried to look it up again, it's way harder to find. It wasn't from bullshit sites of people. Well, I guess what is a bullshit site anymore? But propagandizing for whatever agenda push. And as we see this Snuffleupagus Stooge report from Trump, we know that Guantanamo Bay is being expanded and redone. We've heard this from our own sources who have people who are there. Syria is a jumping off point right now, Cold War wise. Iran with the misdirection spot coming into an election big time, hot in the next year. Like all this stuff stacking up. That again is human bullshit compared to what could be impending from outer space, but it just all seems to stack up in a timeline. And as we move on, and we'll get to the Alex Jones thing because we got $1 million bounty to claim and we're going to get that money. Like it just looks like it's playing all out here. I hate to say it, Stevie, but long game, like we can see it kind of ticking forward in weird ways instead of just coming out and saying, yeah, it was Mossad and those guys, and they got no hijackers on there, and those passports were planted. Everybody who always thought that, you were right. Good job. Now let's move things forward.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be like right in between sports and weather on the mainstream media. Like everybody knows Gulf of Tonkin was a false flag. Once you know it was done once, everybody knows that JFK was not assassinated by a lone gunman. There's even ones that were done in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Everybody knows the banks fucking took all that money. Huh?
Booth shot Lincoln in the head and got away possibly now is the story. Yeah,
but well, you know what? Those we don't have time for that. We don't have time to live in the past. That's what these idiots would say, because the history doesn't repeat itself ever. Then you have, it's just incredible how the banks are absolutely known to take all this money in 2008 when we're going to fall off a cliff in 2008. We needed the TARP, we needed the stimulus package, just like we needed the Patriot Act. It was already written before 9/11, by the way.
Yeah,
we needed it. We need it. And if it's so great and it's so helpful, why are they passed at 11:30 at night, midnight, 1 a.m.? Why are they given 1,300 pages to read in 20 minutes? So, like, everybody's corrupt in they've dirtied everybody's hands, even a politician who wants to be somewhat honest. You're fucked, because now once you sign that, because it's no different than sitting in a locker room and having that fucking peer pressure that we all experienced in there to do something like drugs, alcohol, something stupid. That, well, I never did it. That's why I never got.
I was gonna say that's no, because that would have meant people would have had to share their drugs. Hey, do some of this. Nobody ever did that.
I remember Pitbull Anthony threatened to beat me up if I didn't take drugs, and I still said no. Because how is that convincing me to do take these? No. And then I guess now, like, well, look.
That'll learn him.
Would you rather take his drugs or take his triple bump fee?
Yeah, I was going to say his shit bump.
Yeah. Which one of those? You're like, just give me the drugs, dude. I'm not going to bump for that shit.
I already had the other one, so I'm fine. I don't need to double up on that. But that's an amazing thing. That is exactly the way politics works, too. Like, these people, it's essentially everybody just following whatever leader there is, or just being afraid to stand out and be a fucking man or a woman or an adult. And I don't know, man. I just go back to what you said. There's a fucking 560 megaton asteroid that could hit us, and all they're worried about is getting, quote, richer. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, it's just that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And once their mind is that fucked, whether we see it on TV, pal, no one can tell I'm a genius, or we are fighting over fake money that's not backed by anything at this point, and the whole planet could be eliminated. Like the ridiculousness of that argument is tough to even put into any scope of anything really at this point. But if this is what's going to start happening, can you imagine, like, again, it's the fantasy, forget about the megaton bomb coming, but like the fantasy that there may be a reality when it comes right before the elections and all that shit, that they do subpoena and take all of them down in that year and like just march them off to the fucking resort to see ya.
I think the easiest way to do it would be, as far as like, so they can preserve their legacy, like George Bush Sr., is some kind of like group flight or something where they're all going somewhere, or something happens where they're in a spot and they tragically, and they make up some story that they didn't fuck all these kids that were there where they were trying to fuck them. They rescued them from a fire, and they all stayed in there and burned when they were already dead for like a day.
They're getting on the plane and like, hey, you're on this flight too? Hey, you're on this flight? And they try and turn around and get off like, no, sit down.
We're all going to Malaysia.
Hang on, we should all probably. You know what? I forgot my shit. I forgot my carry-on.
Sorry, door's closed. But how are you going to get out? I'm going to open it and then I'm going to close it.
If Trump was a worker, which he is, he would invite them all on Air Force One to all take the trip. He would get on the plane, and then he would just kind of slide out onto the cargo thing.
Like Steven Seagal.
Executive decision, yeah.
That would be mine.
Everybody just wait, I'll be right back. And he just splits. They see him running across the tarmac as they're taking off. Oh shit, that's probably big.
That sounds like a Master Shoe Theater right there.
Probably big. Just imagine him running across the tarmac and everybody looking pressed up against windows watching him.
That's another one for the bad guys. Yeah, man, I love that. I love that little fantasy we just had there together. One for GGP while he's not here from the Horsemen chat. This kind of popped me and is interesting too. Authorities sees 16.5 tons of cocaine at Philly port, has street value $1 billion. Philly, U.S. authorities seized more than $1 billion of cocaine Tuesday from a ship at Philly port, calling it for one of the largest busts in American history. They haven't seen my gimmicks lately, but the U.S. Attorney Office has Philly announced the massive bust on Twitter Tuesday afternoon, saying, holy shit, that's a lot of coke. No. Saying enforcement agencies 33,000 pounds, 1,500 kilograms, or 15,000 kilograms, of cocaine from a large ship at the Packer Marine Terminal. Members of the crew were arrested and face federal charges. Agents with dogs swarmed the colossal container ship Tuesday afternoon, including one officer who could be seen climbing into the back of a large red container on wheels, jumping up and down with joy. The drug seizure is the latest in a series of large cocaine busts along the East Coast. In March, Philly dogs sniffed out 1,185 pounds, 538 kilograms of cocaine worth $38 million. At that time, the city's largest drug seizure in more than 2 decades. February, 3,200 pounds worth $77 million. So, no, not small shipments, Sal. Is somebody not getting paid off? Is this real war against the cartels?
That's exactly what happened, dude. I mean, somebody did not make the payment in time.
We're talking
that shit got blown up.
$1 billion, dude. There's going to be a lot of fallout from that, gang warfare wise. A lot.
Well, prices are going to go up. Prices are going to go up now. All the heat's on. It's going to be a fucking mess out there.
Yeah, man.
And I'll be honest, I don't even think that's going to affect ground level shit as much as we think. I think that's a higher level. Again, somebody did not get paid. Or somebody was pulling the plug on the operation altogether.
Yeah, I mean, when you say, and it's easy for us to kick these numbers around because we almost had a TV deal, 38 million and 77 million. You're like, that's a lot of money. $1 billion in one shipment. That's just a big fucking ballsy move to make $1 billion shipment. We're all fucking experts at cocaine dealing now that we've watched fucking all the Netflix shows on it, right? Narcos, Medellin Cartel, whatever the fuck. So we know what we're talking about here. We've done it all. But still, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. $1 billion. Does that mean they got that one where they thought it was coming in? Somebody said no because they didn't get their kickback? Or are they just straight shipping $1 billion every time? And how many have they gotten fucking through? And that's one of 6 that they got that day where people were like, holy fuck. And they sent $6 billion worth of coke.
Now, I was going to say, now what about the $4 billion shipment that they sent the other side, the other port?
Yeah.
Was that the turkey? They gave up for it.
Well, one thing's for sure, there's going to be a lot more rest holds in indie wrestling around the Northeast.
I was going to say, what is Ring of Honor's locker room going to do in the next
Wow.
No more turnbuckle bomb Superman punches coming your way.
Watch me sell this shit for sure. I'm feeling it now, boys. Holy fuck.
Yeah. It's all going to be chain wrestling for the next 3 months.
Yeah, 20 minutes of yay boo coming to your next Ring of Honor television.
Yeah, let me fake finger break you. You sell around the ring all the way around the outside. Come back to me. I'll go out the opposite side. Come get you. We'll kill 2 minutes out. Oh shit on a shingle, Chris Kringle. That was for GGP.
Sal is playing that music. I have a match with him in Halifax. I'd stooge it off. I have a match against him in Halifax, Nova Scotia on September 28th.
That's why I'm playing it. Because I want you to get your plug out.
He actually lives in Atlanta, so I
don't know. Oh, shit. We're just having fun. Oh, good stuff.
There's also still huge heat. He's very angry at me because of that time where I thought he was dead by the pool, but I still went to the gym. Like he was laying by the pool, I thought he was dead, but I was like, no, I'll be back. I'll just get this done. And because he was laying there like just the head on the ledge, like he looked dead, and I'm just like he's like you completely just left me for. I said, well, where were you going, really?
So now you tie him into this cocaine bust, and now you're going to work him in Halifax. Good for you.
You don't know that for a fact. Stop it.
Saying.
Alex Jones sanctioned up after calling a child porn a setup.
I would like to say, if anybody wants to look this up, if you look this shit up, you can find it everywhere. They have not scrubbed this story.
It's unbelievable that it's so easy to find and all over every news outlet. Bridgeport, Connecticut, slapping the noted conspiracy theorist with sanctions Tuesday. Connecticut judge rejected the insinuation Alex Jones gave for why his computer had child porn on it. The court had no doubt that Alex Jones, quote, the court had no doubt that Alex Jones was accused plaintiff counsel of planting child pornography, unquote, says Bridgeport Superior Court Judge Barbara Bellis. Bellis is presiding over the defamation suit against Jones brought by the families of the children and educators killed 7 years ago at Sandy Hook Elementary School. For years, Jones has maintained that the shooting was a hoax. An InfoWars host produced email metadata to oppose counsel as part of the discovery process on May 21st when the lawyers found that electronic metadata included 12 images of child porn. And apologetic Jones returned this weekend to his microphone. Quote, "You're trying to set me up with child porn. I'll get your ass," Jones said. Going on, probably not the best way to end that. Going on
if I find you, I'm going to fuck your asses.
I'm going to fuck your kids if I find you.
Smooth asses. Your hairless asses.
What's the $1 million about? Because he kept saying $1 million. Is that what he put up against him?
Yeah, if anybody gives a stooge report of who it was, he doesn't care if that was that they'll get $1 million if they, prove it. When lawyers found electronic metadata, including 12 images of child porn, an apologetic Jones returned this week to his microphones and said that. Jones said, going to the broadcast, the pound on a photo of a lawyer's family's name's Chris Matai. Chris Matai represents a lot of Sandy Hook families, which I want to come back to that. So if I forget about that, remind me, please. Referring to the footage of Friday and Saturday broadcast, Judge Bellis noticed that Jones's child porn tirade went on for 20 solid minutes. While Jones claimed he's got 4 hours to fill. While Jones claimed he wasn't emotional about the case, Bellis said it was an intentional, calculated act of rage for his audience. Well, yeah, that's his whole fucking gimmick. Jones' attorney, Zach Ryland, said Jones' behavior was not appropriate, but he did feel it rose to the point where there needed to be sanctions. Our position is, quote, he said, our position is what he said did not rise to the level of a threat, Ryland said, agreeing that Jones should not have referred to plaintiff's counsel at all, speaking about Chris Matai. Let's see.
What was Bello talking about? Why was Bello commenting on it?
I didn't see Bello in there. Did I say?
What'd you say? Whose name?
Bellis.
Oh, Bellis.
Yeah, it's not that. Bellis is the judge. But here's the weird thing. I'm quoting down. A lawyer held firm even when Bellis quoted $100,000, then $1 million award that Jones offered. He offered $100,000, then upped it to $1 million, just to obviously, make it salacious so it'll hit the fucking net bigger. A reward that Jones offered to get to the bottom of who sent him the emails containing the child porn. We did not intentionally turn over these documents, Ryland said of the child porn. The hearing occurred one day after the judge in Wisconsin sided with the father of a victim of the Sandy Hook victim in a defamation suit against the authors of the book, Nobody Died at Sandy Hook. So right there, they're not mentioning Leonard Posner, but they're mentioning Leonard Posner's win. Here's what's weird to me. I'm going to continue, sorry. Dane County Circuit Court Judge Frank Remington ruled Monday that the author James Fetzer and Mike Palachek defamed Leonard Posner, whose 6-year-old son was killed in the shooting. Posner's lawyer, Jake Zimmerman, noted that the pair claimed, among other things, that Noah's death certificate had been faked. A trial to decide damages has been set for October. Posner is the lead plaintiff in several of at least 9 cases filed against Sandy Hook deniers in federal and state courts in Connecticut, Florida, Texas, and Wisconsin. Jones's attorney, Pattis, said the decision violates his client's First Amendment rights, and he will be filing an appeal by the end of the week. Okay. I'll let you guys go if you want to. I've been reading a lot here. I got a couple points in.
Well, again, this is what I saw on the news when they were Leonard Posner's win, that they were stopping sales of the book. That was the author's choice. They said they will stop sales of the book. And to me, I was like, why? Why would you stop? How could you stop? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why, this is my opinion. I've said this. This is what I've come up with. This is my theory. Now you're not allowed to have that. You can't have that because that's defamation of character. That's defamation of this person, Leonard Posner. I would like to speak to Mr. Posner and ask him personally. Well,
that's the $1 million question right there.
And that's what I said. I said, where's Mr. Posner? Why isn't his stupid face on TV going, my son? Why isn't he there? How come he's not there reaching out to America, asking America, please don't forget my son. Please don't forget him. My little boy who I wrapped up in a coffin, I buried in the ground because he was shot.
The amazing part is with Sandy Hook and the parents. Well, first of all, maybe they were afraid that he was going to be like the other guy that was laughing with the cops and then went into full, cry on demand mode on CNN. But maybe, just a correlation and the coincidence that most of them all have IMDb profiles.
Well, they're all actors, man. Just like waiters.
But I'm saying, where's there a bigger concentration of actors in just a town? It's not like it's in Westchester where Dreamer, and a lot of actors and actresses live to go to New York City. It's not. It's just odd.
A new show coming out on was it Netflix?
How is that going down?
Yeah.
How is Judge Bello making that happen?
Posner. Judge Bello?
Yeah, Judge Bello making that happen in Wisconsin. This is a Connecticut thing.
Right.
And so I go a little bit deeper. So we have Chris Matai, the lawyer who is representing the families who won the defamation suit or whatever.
Right.
That's not the Leonard Posner thing. Leonard Posner's rep by Jake Zimmerman. So here I go. I look up Jake Zimmerman lawyer. There's 2 in St. Louis, Missouri. One is Jacob Zimmerman of Zimmerman Law, and then there's Jake Zimmerman, who is supposedly quoted in all these stories. And if you look him up, he was attorney general for a while in Missouri, I think 2008 to 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And now I don't know if he's back to practicing law. I look up his website. The website looks really weird to me. It doesn't have pictures on him, but there is contact. Then I try and come back and find that website. I can't find that website. I get a different Zimmerman Law in Missouri. And it's not the one with Jake Zimmerman. That's the one with Jacob. So there's Zimmerman Law, LLC. And so, because I'll call this dude right now and be like, we'd love to be able to get a hold of Leonard Posner. And that one is in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I know, right?
Fancy fuck.
So I'm going to look up Jake Zimmerman.
I looked him up. It was him as he's the St. Louis County assessor now, Jake Zimmerman. And then the other one is Jake Zimmerman, like filmmaker. And then there's one that's actually the firm.
Yeah.
And there's nothing coming up about the Zimmerman firm, but there's no other links.
Is it the red-headed dude who's the county assessor? Why would he be representing them? Did he go back to law? And there's no place to really reach out and get a hold of him there. His website is still up for him to run for county assessor. So is it Jacob Zimmerman? But every story has Jake. My point is, we've never seen Leonard Posner, who in the many interviews we've done on this subject, we've been told may be a fake alias. Let's take it back to Dear Wolfgang. We go through all that with the other wormy little lawyer in that movie, and Wolfgang gets all the way to the point of where he's going to have Leonard Posner have to be on the stand last November. And what happens? At the 11th hour, they dropped the suit against Wolfgang because Posner would have had to come in and sit on the stand and been able to be questioned about his, are these aliases, you know? Very strange things. None of that is ever quoted in any of these stories that we've gotten right from Wolfgang's mouth. And they're going after Fetzer and him on the other thing. They named Wolfgang in the New York Times things, but they didn't go after Wolfgang here. That's strange to me.
Well, it's strange too. Like Sal said, ask the question again. Like, why isn't he getting in front of cameras? Why isn't he facing off against Wolfgang or Alex Jones saying, "You motherfuckers, my kid died. Fuck you," and getting on the steps of the courthouse and motherfucking them left and right?
What would move America more than this guy coming out going, "Fuck you, Alex Jones"?
Oh, dude, instead we got David Hogue, Parkland, when this guy's ready-made to be walked out possibly, and do all that. What else have we heard or do we know about Posner? Before Sandy Hook, his job was Ministry of Information scrubbing the internet for things. Like that was his paid gimmick. So that's very strange. And we've never seen him. Now, here's another little down the rabbit hole conspiracy thing. The picture of Noah Posner shows up in Pakistan, right? After, like, as a kid who was killed in a bombing there, after we'd already seen it on CNN, and the correlations were drawn. You saw it used there. Is this just a deep fake stock image of some kid? Was there a Noah Posner? As we talk about the school and, you know, how it wasn't set up, and you can now go through where food was being delivered at an alternative school. So there's no way the food was kept at Sandy Hook. There's just all these, as we talk to Wolfgang, strange things logistically that stick out that have nothing to do with the emotion of Adam Lanza or wanting justice that way. Just simple questions asking why and how were these things not fitting in the storyline. And then it's defamation, shut it down, quick Nancy Brown story, get it out there on every channel possible.
Well, this was the original one too, where the state trooper got up there in the press conference and said, "Do not post anything on social media that's outside of what we're telling you happened, or you'll get prosecuted." That was a turning point, a paradigm shift in all this. That's when all this stuff really started, because that was an Easter egg there of threat of prosecution. If I just say, "Hey, this is weird," you're going to go, "Hey, by the way, let's not forget that they got the wrong brother. The brother was in Jersey, and they put out all that information without fact-checking it." And is it still true that the fundraiser on Facebook was created before the actual event? And that's happened a few times.
Yeah, I mean, that has happened with other shootings, like 2 other times, right? Let me see if I got Fetzer even on here. Maybe he's just on. Billy Ray's
Nick Metalwee 84 in the chat room asks, "Where are the pictures of the kids that survived Sandy Hoax?" Yeah,
well, that's a big part of what we were told by Wolfgang where he wanted
They
to know.
sang at the Super Bowl, didn't they?
Super Bowl.
They were there.
Then they were gone.
Yep.
No follow-up after that.
No school meeting at the parents-teachers conference, nothing.
And that some of the kids who were supposedly killed at Sandy Hook
were actually singing.
Were singing there. So none of these things are referenced in these stories. It's the quick fly-by-night, easily digestible, fuck Alex Jones got him and his cronies, anybody who's ever been on there. But we're not here asking and getting hot about that. We just want the simple questions, the porta potty questions answered.
Yeah, and the pizza delivery and the things with the signs set up.
School lunches.
By the way, do you think they fucking did Flight 93 Cleveland Airport bullshit? They fucking roped these kids into a place and shot them all or some fucked up shit. Dude, these people don't have any empathy for human life.
How about the capstone practicum where everybody but the minister agreed to be in on it, right? Remember, he stuck out as one who wasn't going to partake in that too. And here's the thing with the Wisconsin and Missouri. Supposedly, if the legwork was done by other truth seekers, conspiracy theorists on YouTube, I'm sure these videos are scrubbed now, but I remember this specifically, is that everyone who had a kid that was possibly killed got a payout settlement of $180,000 plus, or their house paid off, and everyone who supposedly lost a child no longer lives in Sandy Hook.
Yep.
You left one thing out. They all wanted to sue for more money.
Yeah, they wanted to come back and sue again. And they were allowed to sue Remington, and Remington is probably going to settle too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yep. Because they went after the gun company, and then again, when we found out that they sold, everybody who's lost a kid was out of the town, gone.
So what we're really talking about, truth of the tragic situation or false flag or complete fabrication aside, is the setting of agenda for 2A in the future of gun ban through shock therapy, another MK Ultra, shock them and we can change their mind any way we want. And then also shut down the conspiracy community, because now we threaten prosecution. Now we followed through on it, and we've set a precedent that if you don't like anything we say that's exposing our possible black ops and agenda of what we really want to push in this world to stay in power at any cost, we will fuck you over and shut you down. And it's proof positive, from Milo to Alex to us on YouTube to Stevie's Proem. It's not no one stood up for me. They're here for us now. They're doing it. And the fact we could mention it, we could be next on the list.
The thing is, when this dropped, Stevie, the first thing you said, this makes zero fucking sense. And I feel like nothing's going to happen to Alex, except he's going to get dragged through the press a little bit, and he's going to have to scramble and come up with proof that he didn't do it. That's all. And I feel like this is just a fuck you, Alex Jones, by these guys. I don't feel like he's going to go to jail. I don't feel like he's going to have to pay for this or that or the other thing. I feel like he's going to have to shuffle and scramble and just defend himself to get himself off the hook. Once that's done, this is just kind of a go fucking untie knots for a while, man.
Well, think about this. We saw him do the Apologist tour, 5 weeks ago, and then they still came back over and fucking drove it on his ass, trying to set him up with kiddie porn. And I saw on his show today, I was watching live, I said there were 5 emails with these in there, and none of the emails were ever opened. They looked suspect and got flagged, but they were sent and put that way. And if they would have opened, anybody on his staff had opened them, they would instantly be up for 5 years, possibly.
Blackhawks would have landed and they would have fucking stormed the castle.
But they didn't, and he knew. Now, is that controlled opposition? Did they really catch it? And or the part of the conversation I want to talk about is, let's get this fucking money, right? Who is our top 3 suspects of trying to cut his throat this way and get this shit over?
I think he's his own worst enemy. I saw him on the Steven Crowder Change My Mind video. He just acts I think maybe he's just acting completely loony and silly and goofy, so they don't view him as a threat anymore. He's more of a character. But I think that's more of just carny promoter shit. Like, hey, if you do this job for me, I'll fucking take care of you next time. I'll owe you one. And he did the apology tour. He completely marginalized himself. He backpedaled, and they said, and they laughed, and they go, "We're still gonna fuck him. We're still gonna fuck him. Watch this. This is funny."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this is kind of like throwing somebody a fucking grenade with, you know, the pin in it. Like, he can get out of this because electronically there's shit that can prove he didn't send it. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be like, oh, he's going to fucking jail where he's going to get raped by guys because they say he's a pedo. It's not going to happen. This is just a scramble for him.
It's going to be starving him. That's all.
Yeah. That's all it's going to be. It's going to keep him on the ropes. Going to keep him from making his money. Just to be like, look, fuckhead, look, we got you once. Mind your business. Or I don't even think it's that sinister. I think they're just like, fuck him. Fuck Alex Jones. Because
I don't think anybody believes he's a pedo. That he cheat on his wife with the chick with the big gimmicks that he hired. Absolutely. Trying to look at some little kids. I don't buy into it.
Doesn't make sense.
He's all about the Texas big nuts, all that shit. He's going to fucking double, triple down on that. So, like, and we've been talking about this, that's the easy way now to set up. Not that we want to give any pedophiles or child pornographers a break, but when it's high profile like that, it just comes out of nowhere. And we found it. Well, how the fuck did you find it? How did the FBI come in and investigate that you just happen to have fucking gimmicks on? Well, they're either watching already and saw it and clocked it, or they're in on it and put it there, or you're controlled opposition, and this is part of the bigger work, is how I feel about it. So, to me, this is just some more Democrat get back of somebody, Pelosi, Clinton, Podesta, who's going to have the access to it, Podesta, of a hired hit squad that they still got on there of digital assassins who can implant anything they want to on anybody's machine.
Yeah, and this again, I think this even actually Disco Travolta just said it in the chat room. Did this trend start with Anthony Weiner?
Yes.
Well,
I believe Weiner is a fucking.
You think he's a pedo?
He got caught busted with the phone texting with the girls who was 15. Like, he's got the suspect behavior to me of like a dude. And you remember when he came out, even after he was elected, he did the fucking P90X Stevie Richards pose down with the red hat on and shit back like a total tool. Like, you know, now that you do, Steve, I'm just saying he wanted to be you, but he couldn't be. Like, that was some.
I don't want to be him.
that was some Tinder shit where he's like he's real thirsty for some shit right there.
Well,
you know,
totally thirsty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the problem. Like, being thirsty, and this is a true story. And whatever. So, I know a guy who got busted in AC in a sting, trying to hook up with a 16-year-old girl online who turned out to be cops. Okay. Now. So automatically he is now labeled as a pedophile, as a sexual offender, you know, all this shit. And I know the guy, and I will say he's not. Is he into young chicks? Yeah. When I say young girls, I mean 17, 16. You know what I mean? Like, in the range. This guy's a 40-year-old man.
Oh, I was going to say, he used to commentate Raw, but he's older than 40.
Yeah, he's a 40-year-old man. And I know he's not a pedophile where he's like, oh, children. He's not. I'm going to say flat out he's not. But now he's labeled as it. So I look at a guy like Weiner. To me, I look at them and I go, same guy. Same fucking guy. I don't see Weiner.
Your guy's not in a position of moral high ground to make policy and talk to people and represent them.
True.
That's the big difference where he's not putting on, I mean, he may be putting on one face in his life that way, but he's not living his life in a spotlight where once you do that, you're saying, judge me based on the moral compass of who I am. And then when it's exposed as a work, you got to fucking live and die by that.
Well, here's another way of looking at it. Is there really anybody that's innocent in this realm, especially politics? We've seen them all dirty their hands up. Maybe they're all involved in these, you know, ordering the $67,000 on hot dog parties, all this other shit. Could Alex Jones, because he's so famous and everything, could he have been involved with Trump with some of the shit or other people just speculating. Like that whole email shit is just like, you're guilty until proven guilty, and we'll still think you're guilty anyway. So it doesn't matter if you opened the fucking emails or not. But is there something of truth that they're still holding over his head that they could? Right, this is like a warning shot. Hey, we found child porn on your computer. Fucking, because he kind of veers off a little bit here and there. They have to wrangle him. So before he gets too fucking proud of himself, let's hit him with the fucking child porn email thing. Wasn't open. Nobody goes to jail, but you will fucking get you.
That's exactly it. I feel like it's just, here's the grenade, and you catch it, and you're, and they're like, ha, 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 gotcha, you fucker. Because it's not going to be anything permanent. Except the internet now, but, it'll be, he was cleared of all charges.
But that still won't show up in the 1st or the 10th or the 20th.
Oh, no.
Search result.
It'll be fucking ridiculous clickbait and then that's the thing, I will say this. On all of the Twitter shit that popped up, today, even the fucking anti-Alex people were like, this isn't even right. This is clickbait. This is horse shit. And I was very impressed by that. I just thought it was kind of interesting that even the people who don't like Alex Jones, who are like, I don't like this guy's an idiot, they're like, but this doesn't sound right at all.
Right, it doesn't. And especially the $1 million bounty is going to pull it that way. I found Zimmerman-firm.com if you guys want to check that website out.
Is it a picture of his wife?
To me, like, I almost want to hit him up and be like, dude, let me help you out with your website if you're really a lawyer and this isn't a black op. Because this website makes me feel like it is more of a black op, like somebody just set this up in the background. So Zimmerman-firm.com, and he's got a little scrolling header, and there's 3 quotes in here. I looked at this earlier today. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo. I want to overthrow it, Machiavelli. Then it goes to the next one. The good old fighters of the first fight put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. Sun Tzu, Art of War.
Third one, and then they came for me.
Yeah, and third one is Lincoln. Adhere to your purpose, and you will soon feel as well as you ever did. On the contrary, if you falter and give up, you'll lose the power of keeping any resolution and will regret it all of your life. Now, all 3 of those quotes are about staying the course of a fight, even if it means doing some bullshit and some dirt, right, and winning at all costs. Maybe that applies to law, but that doesn't seem like the scales of justice to me. That seems like the black op mythology of what's kind of happening to Alex Jones here. And when I look at this site that could have been made in Squarespace in no less than hour and a half.
Is it black with green font?
It's gray and white with easy scrollers and some.
It might as well be. It's basically a prettier GeoCities site. That's all it really is.
Right.
But dude, did you see when you clicked on the results, getting results or whatever it is? It has some bullshit. It's something about Hewlett Packard or getting awards or campaigns. In the news, the top like 6 or 7 is all Sandy Hook.
Is it really?
Yeah, go to if you're on the site, you go to selected results and you scroll down in the news, it's all the Sandy Hook stuff. So it's like he just did all these big award things and all that stuff, which he didn't really put a whole lot of detail, and then hyperlink to the Sandy Hook. I don't even know if he had anything to do with like the settlement suits and stuff like that.
Or so what you're saying is
that's the thing. He represents Noah Posner. Chris Matai represents the families, and Posner's the one who won a settlement. The families just got that book knocked off the shelf, right, and probably can come back. So here's what we're going to do right the fuck now.
There's no phone number on this guy. It's all email.
I'm calling. So do you think phone number?
Do you think an intern made this?
Dude, maybe yesterday. For all I know.
Hey, look, just compensation for border wall land condemnation. It's like that's an anti-Trump type thing right there too. Trying to get people paid off for that.
Message.
Hi, is this Jake Zimmerman?
This is.
Hi, my name is Ben Doer. I'm the executive producer at Hameen Media, and we're just trying to reach out to see if we can get a statement on your client, if you're representing Noah Posner, and if there's a possible way to get any interview with time with you or him to discuss any ongoing.
So I am one of the lawyers representing Lenny Posner in the Wisconsin case. I'm limited in my ability to make any statements, but I can pass along a message to him and see if we can set something up. Can I suggest that we start by having you maybe shoot me an email?
Absolutely.
And that way I can pass that along to him.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make sure I had the right gentleman, and I'll send that from it'll be coming from hameenmedia@gmail.com. But I definitely would like to, if we could, get a statement from him live or off the record, and any special circumstances we understand to make a note of that. And if not, if he's not interested, where as far as you could go, we'd be happy to talk to you as well.
I'll do everything I can. I know he was feeling under the weather this week, so it made it difficult for him to do any, radio interviews, anything where his voice is coming through. But we'll figure something out. I'm sure we'll find a way to help.
Well, I thank you so much for taking my call, and I'll send that out in the morning.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a gentleman.
He actually sounds halfway cool.
Yeah, that was
good job, Ben. Look at that shit. Holy fuck.
Executive producer Ben Doer.
Yeah, that was
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Fox executives. Hello, children.
That was better than that.
Hello, children.
That's how John Podesta opens up all his shows.
That's my infidel character, Ben Doer. I'm bringing him out soon.
That was your transformation picture from StevieRichardsFitness.com. Hey man, Ben, you're right, man. Get both sides of it. We're not trying to like make an assumption and then try to prove ourselves right. We want to hear what they have to say.
This is what it's about. We can easily, and I was at this point, if you're in your truth seeking, we all were, rabbit hole where I heard it from Alex and I'm pumped up. Yeah, I'm on the team too. And then we hear it from, great sources like Wolfgang, where it's not emotional. It's comes from a place of genuine, heartfelt research, and it goes logistic. And then we take the emotion out of it and we learn a little bit more on how to really deconstruct these things and the patterns. And now we're at the point of where we feel like there's payback from the other side. But if we have emotion from that, we're just biting into it. Make the call. Maybe we can get them. Maybe I thought Jake Zimmerman could be phony and the website could be. You just heard him, and we'll follow up. Now from there, where we go, that's just simple journalism. How many of these sites do that, man? And just want to even put in the time and the legwork to get to that guy. Anybody can be gotten to, and if you take out the emotion and the fantasy of this shit and really do the legwork, maybe we will talk to Noah Posner, and maybe all this shit we've been told has a whole nother side to it where we can't. Now, worker side in me, when I ask about it, and he's got a sore throat and can't talk, oof.
Yeah,
boy,
there was a lot of weather. There was a lot of weather. He can't talk.
Hey, I'm not gonna, cut our nose off before we go into it and keep an open mind, but let's put a pin in it. As truth seekers, you got to put a pin in that.
Well, I hope he gets better and doesn't take a drastic turn for the worse, if you know what I mean, which tends to happen on these.
Leonard Posner dies in a car crash
from a cold. He sneezed off a mountain.
I've been close.
But dude, you have another kid. Let's get this guy under our social media umbrella and help him on the website too. You might have a client.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be the best thing in the world. Next week, sponsored by Zimmerman Law Firm.
Hey, as much as we get a bit emotional about, doing the Sandy Hook and uncovering, I think we just crossed over a little bit to hey, let's round the corner, and we're in the 1-to-1 right here of getting either trying to work the workers, which isn't going to go well if it goes that way. Or we're going to get a kernel of truth where we have to step back even farther again and be like, okay, here's something we didn't know and what's going on. And maybe that show, if we can make it happen, will be the cornerstone of the what ifs and all this truth movement. We're the underground for a reason. we've got not necessarily the credibility, but we don't have the corruption to go into this to get ourselves over any other way off of it. So if this is the most neutral ground he can come into, and we can provide the whole truth-seeking community with an interview with this guy to say what he wants to, and maybe not even field questions, so be it. I mean, what more can we ask for?
Call Vince. Call Vince now. Call Vince. Talk to Beth.
Yeah, I'm here. I was here the whole time.
No, let's just call him one of these times, dude. I swear to God, I had a dream last night that because I'm doing those videos now, and that I legitimately want to get on one of the calls and ask them a legitimate question, like as I'm recording it, like for YouTube. Like get on and ask Hunter or Vince a legitimate question about
all you got to do is buy some stock and you go on.
Well, I meant they have media calls, actual media calls with wrestling journalists too, don't they?
Yeah, but the stockholder call, they just have to record and take questions no matter what.
So all I got to do is buy one share of stock.
And you're a stockholder and you can call in.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
I only got Vince's office number in my office. I don't have it in this phone.
I had his cell number before, but I was told not to use it.
I just got the office and the extension. But fuck.
True story.
Produce said he'll give 1,000 bits for a Vince call. Call the office and talk to Beth. I mean, shit.
This is a true story. I'm not going to say who I was with in the car because I don't want to put it over. I don't want to get them in trouble.
Are you playing their theme music though?
No, I've never driven with him. We were going through the phone book and we had a long drive, and it was a thing, and we had Vince's number, and we had made a few calls, and I can't say that there was a Jim Cornette call, and then another call to Sexy Sunny Beach to tell him that he had a job offer. Anyway, so the Vince call came in. And I was all set up, and I was all ready. And he answered the phone, and I froze and hung up. I totally pussied out. Because I heard it. I heard the voice, and hello. And I was like, I just hung up the phone. I just hung up the fucking phone like a bitch. So that was, I totally, that was my big choke moment. And I just fucking completely did.
Hello. Yeah. You called me. Come on.
I want to.
No, you called me.
Well, that was so on this is how far it got. On the drive, we called Jim Cornette, and we called as Jim Cornette, and it was funny, haha. Yeah. And in order to keep up we changed the outgoing voice message to Jim Cornette, and the person in the car does a great Jim Cornette. So the next message we got was, well, hi, Jim Cornette. Well, this is Jim Cornette. Listen, you motherfucker. And he just fucking, because I guess, so Sexy Sandy Beach got a call and he was napping. His wife or girlfriend said, oh, I'm sorry, he's not here. He's napping. To which we think that she was beaten because he said, well, we'd like him to come down this Friday if he could. And so then immediately there was a call back. Probably within 45 seconds, and I'm sure that poor woman was beaten senseless. And then he says, yeah, come on down, buddy, anytime you want to do it. And then I guess Sexy Sandy Beach had Jim Cornette's number and called him back and was like, hey, man, thanks. And Jim Cornette's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'll see you on Friday. And he's like, why? And then Jim Cornette got the number and called back, and we got, hey, Jim Cornette. This is Jim Cornette. Listen, motherfucker. And he fucking laced it.
You do realize that this will get back to Cornette, and Cornette will do a YouTube video about it. Like he legitimately would actually beat the fuck out of us if he's seen either one of us.
It was fun. We were on the road. We had a good time, and I enjoyed it. So
last guy he slapped in the mouth got a 5-year contract with WWE and worked with all the Hollywood stars.
Jim Cornette, how about this, buddy? If next time I see you, if you want to slap me, you go right ahead. I'll give you the first one.
He's got his hands full with Sami Callihan right now.
First one's free,
awesome. Kid. That was fucking awesome, by the way.
Pretty good.
But it's a total work now.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. There's no way. Going back to the call really quickly before we move on. I think the $80, it'll be lower, by the way, by the time I make the decision, but the $80 for the one share, just to call up every single call to put it up on YouTube and have Vince finally be like, like for him to cut a promo on me and bury me in a fucking conference call. Like if he did a media call, he's like, "You're such a pain in the ass when you worked here. You're fucking. That's why I fucked with you." He starts doing bits like, "That's why I buried you. I buried you. I'm gonna fucking do it again. I'm gonna hire you so I could fire you again, motherfucker." Well, I've been around him a little bit, but that's what he would do, dude. That would you talk about fucking? I could buy a house off the fucking Google AdSense off that alone. So please, Vince, you owe me the money anyway. Do it.
I don't know who I like better anymore, Vince or Since. That was pretty good. Since is pretty nice. Stints. Yeah, we're all doing it, pal. It would be awesome, man, to have that every week, or they just buy you out. You know, you could say, "I'll sell you my one share for $80,000, and I'll never call again," and that's it. Yeah, I think with the Alex Jones Sandy Hook tie-in of everything that's going on, to me, that's the misdirection spot that they doubled down on after they fucked up the Iran false flag. We've seen the Iran thing just build. It started out with, dude, history again repeats itself, obviously, of where we are wrestling, whatever, wise, stupid generation. We saw that general talking death to America shit in Iran, right? Like some real straight up shit. It wasn't just some cleric extremist shit. It was like, yeah, we got plans. I don't give a fuck. I'm breaking kayfabe on my podcast. I'm saying fuck Bruce or whatever. Right? Like that's pretty much what he did. And that to me seems like the exact same setup as when they had fucking, oh shit, I just had his name on the tip of my tongue. The Iraq dude, little gray haired guy with glasses. Do you remember this fucking guy?
Named everyone.
He was sitting on his front porch during the fucking invasion going, our borders are secure. There's like Humvees rolling behind the background. Oh, that's gonna fucking Tariq Aziz. I don't know.
That was him.
That's my favorite fucking Iraqi of all. Like when they did the 52 card deck of Iraqis, I bought a bunch of them and gave them to my old man. Tariq Aziz was in there, dude. He was the man of he was their propaganda czar. Or just like somebody's crazy uncle being like, ain't shit going on, stay off my block. Meanwhile, shock and awe is happening 2 miles down the road. But this fucking general felt like the same setup to me, same playbook. What's the guy who looks like a Muppet who's Secretary of Defense?
John Bolin.
John Bolin.
This is the fucking John Bolin playbook, and I'm not talking about John Bolin and Ryback as high dosage in OVW. I'm talking about John Bolin, the guy who's a fucking war profiteer who made money off of Iraq, Afghanistan, who stooged off all the shit to General Wesley Clark of the 7 countries to invade post 9/11. This is the same Bilderberg fucking playbook. And here comes Bernie Sanders in the mainstream media saying the words, boy, this sure feels like a false flag, doesn't it?
Ron Paul said it on his show too, talking about that. And that's not.
I said Bernie Williams. I meant Ron Paul. I apologize.
Bernie Williams, he's going to die while he's on the baseball field of a heart attack.
I was gonna say.
Bernie Sanders.
Well, dude, you got to think about this, though. How many times have they tried? I mean, they're trying so hard with Iran for decades, and they keep trying to show the old propaganda footage like it's all Shah, like the Shah of Iran. Like it's not the same. Or Ahmadinejad. Basically, all he does is deny the Holocaust. Like that, they're trying to do all these crazy things to get in there. I don't know. It's got to be like Michael Rupert, the guy who committed suicide, who was talking about peak oil, talking about the truth and lies in 9/11. A former cop who basically exposed the drug trade with the CIA in California. Mm-hmm. He talked about the pipeline. And people think it's all this stuff like the evil New World Order stuff or world government or all this stuff. Remember, 560 megaton asteroid, and all they're thinking about is, man, if we can build this pipeline and kill a bunch of people, we get to keep a lot of money. Which, by the way, on a side note, Russia wants to go back to the gold standard. So you think that if the Democrats can get in there or somebody within that, we're going to go to war with Russia. They've been trying to do that too.
Absolutely, but they know military power-wise, attacking another white nation doesn't look right. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Oh, it's brown and Middle Eastern, get in there. I was at family reunion on Father's Day. live Skype with my little cousin who's in Syria right now. It's crazy, bro. Just like the reality of that. And then this shit's jumping off. So Syria is the Cold War stomping grounds for what the fuck is going to happen next. That's all it is. It's the battlefield playfield that Iraq was. They just changed the fucking conversation.
So what's going on in Syria now? Like, it's kind of like you don't know the white hats. Remember, is Syria really in rubble? Is Syria really having all these atrocities? I'm not saying they're not, but they're only going to air genocide if it furthers their war profiteering.
Well, it's the Cold War that we got baited into by deploying troops there to make the chess move. All they did was make their chess move. Russia did, in congruent with Iran, and we have to move laterally. And now we just deployed another 1,000 troops to the Middle East, as it's called. So who the fuck knows, right? And all covert ops, the whole nine, man. So it's all just setting up the stage of are we actually going to go and do this again where Trump got elected on, as we read earlier, Iraq and Afghanistan was the biggest mistake, $8 trillion, and we can't even fucking afford new textbooks with more lies to keep the next generation indoctrinated. So here we are again playing by the same Gulf of Tonkin bullshit, dude, and the same 9/11 bullshit where they will fucking lie and do something big. This was just a hit on an oil tanker, but that's the USS Cole. That's the lead up to what was 9/11 over X amount of years coming later. Go ahead, Stevie.
But what you said just now, Trump said we wasted $8 trillion. We're still wasting a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. But look at Iran over there. Let's go get them. Like, like what the fuck? Now we wasted a bunch of money.
I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in aliens, but our pilots, I trust them. And if they haven't seen something that's different, then there's UFOs. But I don't believe in them. Like, it's same fucking both sides of the coin.
Or Iran happens, all that shit. They're trying to get in there, and then they're like, "Holy shit, they're not going to fall for it." I think I know who did 9/11. What?
Yeah.
So I think now we have to find out if it was all the same interview, because that would make complete fucking sense. I don't know if I believe in UFOs. I feel like that's just our pilots. I have trust in them, but I just don't. We spent $8 trillion, but I don't buy that. But Iran and sir, isn't that the same thing? I know who did 9/11. Complete throw off. That's perfect. And then he ended the interview. I gotta go.
This whole show is misdirection spots and greed. And that's what it is, where we talk about the reality of our scope in the universe, and then we're brought down to burn them on some human reaction shit to this, man. It's just like, how do you categorize the hierarchy of our priority of what we have to decide and believe in off of that? That's the hardest thing for me to justify, dude.
And on the news, they were showing that those cats were pulling the unexploded fucking charges off the side of the boat.
Right.
And Trump was like, Iran did it. And they were like, we can't say yes or no. And he's like, no, look, that's them. That's Iran. And they were like, well, we can't prove that. And he's like, no, but that's them. He was sure. He was sure of it.
How about the fact that they've got the camera directly on the fast boat, like to have it all taped, ready to
night vision? They had that night vision going.
Yeah.
Make it so it looked fucking perfect. We have it. Obviously, we have the technology. We can see these guys clearly. Well, what's on the boat? It says Iran. Look at it. It says Iran right there. It says Iran.
It actually says, it says Iran. Yes, we are Iran. It's Iran. Don't mistake us with Iraq. We are Iran. Like it's all a body wrapped battleship.
I don't know. It said Iran bomb team down the side of their boat.
Iran bomb removal.
Shout out to Purdue 9600 for another 1,000 bits. Appreciate that, you guys. All of our bit shares over the past couple of weeks. Very humbling, and thank you for supporting the platform and all the content that we bring. But yeah, Iraq, Iran, I saved $5. What else did I have on here, guys? There's something else kind of interplayed with it. This was a follow-up too. This is off topic. Anybody got anything else they want to do with Iran? Because this was follow-up to another show.
No, I'm sure they're going to have more coming.
Keith Rainier, ex-leader of self-help group NXIVM, Nixum, convicted in sex trafficking case. Keith Raniere, former leader of the self-help group Them, was convicted Wednesday in New York City in a federal court case accusing him of turning women into his quote-unquote sex slaves. Raniere showed no reaction as the guilty verdict was read in federal court in Brooklyn. Jurors took less than 5 hours to convict the 58-year-old on 7 counts that included racketeering conspiracy, wire fraud conspiracy, forced labor conspiracy, sex trafficking conspiracy, and attempted sex trafficking. The charges could put him behind bars for the rest of his life. Over the last 7 weeks, this trial has revealed, quote, over the last 7 weeks, this trial has revealed that Raniere, who portrayed himself as a savant and genius, was in fact a master manipulator, a con man and a crime boss of the cult-like organization involving sex trafficking, child pornography, extortion, compelled abortions, branding, degradation, and humiliation, said Richard P. Donahue, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. Quote, his crimes and crimes of his co-conspirators ruined marriages, careers, fortunes, and lives. The evidence proved that Raniere was truly a modern-day Svengali, Donahue added. During the trial, the witnesses testified to living in a cult-like atmosphere and being forced to have sex with Raniere. Prosecutors said testimony showed Raniere used women as masters to demand nude photos and other embarrassing secrets from slaves. The material would be made public, but they didn't obey the orders to have sex with him to keep them in line, they said. So he's using his first-tier hoes to get more blackmail to bring in the other ones. They said the former leader of the self-help organization based in upstate New York used the organization to tap into a never-ending flow of women. Some of Raniere's adherents include TV actress Allison Mack, best known for her role as a friend of young Superman in the series Smallville, and Seagram's liquor fortune heiress, Claire Bronfman. Wow. Getting all kinds of high-level pussy, branding them, and twisting their minds up.
So a compelled abortion is, come on, baby, really, just have it, please. Seriously, we can't afford this. This is awful.
I thought he compelled her down the stairs with the boot to the back. That might be what it is there. I compelled
her into the closet. It's a bunch of
Benny Hinn on her.
Oh, yeah. Dude. So coming off of a great show last week, Joshua Travers, obviously saved in America.org. A lot of great response here. We have some justice for a guy who was doing his high-level white pimp bit, cult leader, to get pussy. And obviously salacious and Hollywood TMZ driven style, so they want it for headlines, and giving him a big, taste of life in prison during the Me Too movement is the best way they know how.
Let's be workers, though.
Okay.
Is he really the top guy?
Where are the 7 women? Why aren't they fucking getting their tits twisted? And where are they going next? And why aren't they getting...
Didn't Alex... And what's her name? Didn't Mac come out and say, yeah, I'm guilty, fuck it?
She took one.
Yeah, she took one. Well, she took a couple, apparently. But, she took that, and now, if you want to fuck this guy, if this guy's such a prick, how come, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, again, you bring up the valid point of he can't be the top. You know what I mean? Like, he's just gone down way too easy.
Well, he's going down way too easy, but it looks like, we find, it's that long game once again. It looks like, we got one of the big ones.
You don't think he would stooge at 57? Like he's looking at 50. He's 58 years old. He's looking at 57 years.
But what if they told him you will not make it to 59? You fucking prick.
I think if he goes in jail, that's a given, right? Why risk it? Why risk it? Because if he breaks in 5 years and starts stooging on everybody else.
So let me ask you a question. You're going to go to jail, okay? You're going to go to jail, and somebody tells you, listen, you keep your mouth shut. You do your time. You be forgotten about. Stay small. You're fine. Or we end you.
Still, do your time. He's looking at life.
He's looking at life. Do you think he's going to get life?
Yeah. I think he's going to get they're going to make an example, 35 years or whatever. And the fact that, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right.
If it guys will roll on dudes who can't do 5 years now, right? We've seen all the old new gangster stories. So the fact that why let him go in there, do 5 years, and somebody he's going to stooge on is worrying about it, and the fact of month 3 they could just put over, oh, he pimps somebody's cousin and they killed him. Like, they're going to do away with him if he goes in there. It'll be easier to kill him in jail and keep it quiet, make it look like something else. But if I was him, I think he's too comfortable. If there was somebody higher in the locker room, he'd be stooging on him right now to save his own shit.
Unless he's protected, like Anthony Weiner somehow is still alive. And dare I say he's more famous. But I would say this too. We just talked about the Alex Jones thing. Hey, keep your mouth shut. We're going to send you to country club prison. You're going to live out that life in somewhat comfort. Then they're going to throw him in like Supermax or something right in the middle of Gen Pop. No, I'm just saying, like, and they're going to laugh. What are you going to do? Oh, they told me this, and you're dead before you can even like do the quick stooge off. Who's going to care? You're a molester, you're a rapist, you're part of a sex cult, you're human trafficking. Nobody's going to ever say, yeah, we should let this get, let's bring him in and let's listen to him. They're going to say, fuck it, he should die. Right. So they've been known, they'll give him exactly, they're not, these aren't people that are going to honor their deal because he's not going to live up to their end of the deal anyway. It's a win-win for them.
I don't know, Steve. I find your disrespect to these people just utterly reprehensible.
I was.
I'm not understanding how these guys. We talk about all these organizations, cults, and these sort of things. These fucking people, they live by the secrets. They live in secrets. Their whole fucking existence belongs in that. So, again, we're saying that they would roll over. I don't know. Not if this goes up higher, and not if somebody has a fucking foot on his nuts.
If he doesn't roll over, in my opinion, he's still dead, because why risk it? Why risk it once he's in jail? And that in 5 years.
Here's the way I've seen this.
If
he hasn't said anything.
It's the jail time of that grinding you down when you were out in upstate New York banging Nickelodeon stars, and now you're fucking eating off a tray and being in your room 16 hours a day.
That's the thing. So this guy turns around and says, "Get my lawyer. I want to talk." He's done within the week.
I think before that they'll pull it on him. Like, it's just the way it is. It was nice knowing you, buddy. I mean, hey, you got a lot of grade A pussy on your way out. You live a fast one. I'm not here to put over any sex traffickers, child pornographers.
No. But I'm not putting them over. I'm just saying, I just feel like we think they're going to turn too easy. These fucking assholes base their entire existence on keeping their mouth shut.
Right.
Somebody asked in the chat room, so who's higher than this guy? That's what we're trying to. If we knew that, I mean, we'd probably be dead too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, I
know who's higher than this guy.
That's it.
Good night, everybody.
Is anyone higher than this guy? Go to WikiLeaks, Sal. Give me the answer.
Hang on, let me look it up. No.
I thought you were going to play Sabu's music again.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I'm sorry. I thought somebody just busted into your house.
Them's the rules.
That's it. Them's is the rules. Oh, man. Sorry. I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but that I didn't expect him to pick up on the second ring.
Exactly when he said, "This is Jake Zimmerman."
Yeah.
Okay, we got him.
All right.
Didn't he say that when he answered? Or this is Jake? Yeah.
Now, let's really pull back the camera and see the guy with a giant beard and a turban on, and he's like, "I'm listening to the show. Fuck them. Watch this. Jake Zimmerman. This is Jake Zimmerman.
It's Armand."
He's got his own whole Jewish lawyer character, but he's really not. It's just
right. And he's like, "Fuck him. Fuck Ben Stiller."
Yeah, we'd all be laughing at it. It'll be interesting, guys, going forward. We'll send that email out and, hopefully word it as properly as possible. And who knows? That's what happens when you drop pebbles in the pond. Anybody can be gotten to. You'll hear more stories about that on something that Stevie and I and Vince had the pleasure of being a part of. And all it takes is some simple stalking and not creating a dumbass account where you pretend you're a wrestler from Bogota or some Disco Inferno thing and actually ask a fucking real question, and you can get real results and some respect in an industry maybe. So as we go from podcast to possible point men, speaking to somebody that could be an interview that changes the way conspiracy theory videos are done and how we actually do research in this motherfucker. The opportunity is there, and I just wanted to appreciate my co-hosts for being along for this ride in that respect. You guys kind of shook me out a little bit here.
I give it to you, man. You followed through with it. You set hopefully a good example for other people that probably won't follow it. Cool.
Here's the other weird thing that's conspiracy wise that shook me today too. I'm kind of effed off over. I'm excited about it, but you guys see that link I sent about Woodstock that was supposedly canceled?
Mm.
Did you see that? Yeah. So I came into work today. Somebody goes, "Oh, what do you think about the rumor?" And I go, "What rumor?" Because I don't really give a shit about local news that much, even though I should as a local businessman. And they're like, "Oh, that Woodstock is probably going to come here if we get it signed." So all the highest bigwigs are up because it's fallen through twice already in New York State for whatever multi-million dollars of reasons. So I just thinking to myself, we all know what it takes to put on an indie show, usually a month out, in the budget of $7,500 to $10,000 to have a decent show to hopefully make your money back. Dude, imagine somebody just comes in and goes, "You've got 57 days to put on Woodstock." I mean, granted, they're all that do it, but if this goes through, like we're about to get invaded like Syria by a corps of engineers who have to build Woodstock in 57 days, man, and remarket it all. Like for me as a marketing dude, imagine walking into that fucking tornado today. I was like, I'm excited about it, but we'll see how it shakes out, man.
But that shit show that happened last time was like
that was a mile from where I live. It's the compound I live on now in the silo. But that's different. Where I work, it's out in the country. It's contained. That was on a tarmac, 98 degrees, and they were charging people $10 for water.
Right.
But I've already got it figured out. I'm just going to go down there and bring 5 people at a time and say, "Hey, if you don't want to use the porta shitter, you can use my office for $10 for 2 minutes." So that's I'm just planning on having people use my office bathroom. I'm looking to clear 10 grand over.
Only water, no Dukes.
Yeah, that's $25 for a shower. So, but that's that. I'm trying to plot and scheme. So if you know any apocalyptic ways that I can take advantage of my fellow man, if this thing goes through, send all suggestions to conspiracyhorseman@gmail.com. I know, Sal, you were actually in a 1-to-1 correspondence with one of our great listeners, and you are the direct pipeline now to Frankie Zero, because I didn't see any email in there. If there's anything you wanted to share that way, Sal, I know everybody's looking for a Zero update.
No.
All right, well then I guess it's peace, love, and $5 face slaps at Woodstock for everybody there.
Rest in peace, Frankie Zero.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with that. Do you want me to read? I'll read the entire fucking email. You want me to read the emails? I'll read the emails.
You can summarize.
I think he did already. That's what he summarized it with. People can imagine.
Shit.
Oh, let's not have any more. We had plenty of good communication with that call, and let's not press our luck. Let's leave on a high note with that.
We'll leave him high. I just wanted to do a little on of my breaking Sal, because I knew that didn't get in the episode because you broke him further afterwards. Sal, or Stevie, actually, I like your recaps of breaking Sal. How did you get him this week?
No, his wife got him. His wife got him by sharing a Facebook post about the what is it again?
I forget. It was so long ago.
His wife had shared something, and that set him off. And he goes, "When do you want to record?" And that was it. But we don't hold on to grudges, so we both can't even remember.
No, I can't remember. I don't remember what she did.
I only got to see the first 20 minutes live on Twitch there, so I replayed that for myself, kayfabe. But I'll throw the replay back out there. as well, and it'll be on YouTube going forward. But another awesome episode, I'm sure. And Master Shoot Theater was a lot of fun last night, and we look forward to the week ahead to be able to give you guys a big Stooge report. Once we find out, you'll find out. Kayfabe will be broken going forward. Yeah, guys, I'm pretty good. Unless there's any other news reports you want out, we'll do pitches at the end and take it home.
I'll just give them the initials so they get a hint. FOX. How's that?
Yeah. And, we're all going to get in there and have a match with Foxy. It'll be good, and it'll be the first intergender.
Get the breathalyzer.
Yeah. Arn's going to ref. It'll be a good time. We count with his other arm because he can't move that one up too much anymore. Sally, what's going on with you this week, man? You got to go back to work. You on vacation? People can hit you up and talk to you at Dead No Save all the time on Twitter.
Yeah, we can we got Horror Junkyard. Me and Chuck, actually, we're after this show, meeting up with Chuck to he should just be getting home from work, and we're going to do the Horror Junkyard.
Cool.
We're going to be covering Robo Vampire, an Asian flick, which it's like a Frankie Zero email.
Why does a robot need to be a vampire?
Nope, has nothing to do with that. Okay. It has zero to do with that.
Now, is the robot a vampire, or is the robot fighting a vampire?
Well, oddly enough, yes.
That's all that.
Yeah, this is a mess. This is a fucking mess. And we have been getting a lot of good feedback actually at the Horror Junkyard at protonmail.com. That is the CERN server. We have never been hacked. We get no Alex Jones porn in our emails. We have been getting a lot of cool feedback from people. Thanks for a lot of suggestions. We asked for artwork. Nobody wants to send their artwork of the different movies we've covered. We said anything you want to send us, and we got nothing. We actually asked people to send. We said if there were any fucking serial killers who are listening, send us some of your work. Nobody has sent anything. They've said nothing.
I will make a pact, Stevie. How about you and I tomorrow spend a little time and each draw a picture of what we think robot. What is it?
Robo Vampire.
Of what we think Robo Vampire looks like or what their means are without knowing anything at all.
And I promise you'll be wrong.
I'm in, Stevie. Are you in?
I'm in. I'm going to use my iPad and try to draw this up.
Yeah, and then we just did Breaking Sal, which was good. Always fun doing that. ProWrestlingTees.com SCG shirts, right? That's it. All right. So do that, and then working on some other stuff. Tomorrow is going to be all paints day, man. I'm going to get to my painting because I have been inspired by Vince fucking Russo. That guy has inspired me to go back to doing some painting, getting some artwork out there, and maybe if I don't know, I'm probably not going to sell any of it. We'll give it to somebody. We can give it to somebody in here, like one of the people who donates the bits. We can send them some shit if they, Yeah,
I'd like to see you do kind of what
the cheap way of getting out of it.
I like Moses. His collages of all the stuff that he made us that awesome.
Yeah.
And he has the paintings followed up. I'd like to see your version of some conspiracy stuff along those lines, just all together and for whatever purpose or not, or something, a scene from those types of things.
We got some inspired. I watched SmackDown last night, so I was inspired.
Stevie, have you recovered from SmackDown?
Not quite yet. Remember that first week we recorded? I got SmackDown. I legitimately got the flu, and I thought it was the SmackDown flu. That was the sickest. That was a hint of things that was foreboding. But I'm actually going to put the shirt that Sal designed. I really like it for the Steve Richards Fitness T-shirt with the skeleton. So I have to get a high-res image of that, Sal, whenever you get a chance.
Okay.
Cool.
PNG, right?
Yes, please. And then let me know what color you think it should be on.
Oh, blue, dude, of course.
Yeah, blue and white looks good, dude, always. That's your brand. Go with it.
All right, cool. So, yeah, Steve Richards Fitness, that's my brand. That's what we have. Choose your program, choose your video. But as far as videos, I really want people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We just broke 44,000 subscribers today. The Goldberg Undertaker video has over 32,000. The Shane McMahon one has a fair amount of views. But you wouldn't believe how many people, because I gained about maybe 2,000 subscribers in the past week, which is amazing. But mostly everybody who commented or put stuff up on the community page said, I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, which just proves like, it's so funny that how YouTube works with that. Like all these people don't know. And at the same time, 44,000 people subscribe, but I still have the majority of 200-300 view videos. And I think they're decently produced videos. So it's just amazing that, YouTube can do that. Like give you kind of those vanity metrics, but have nothing on the other end. I really want people to watch the videos just because I like making the videos and I want to interact and I want people to get something out of the content. Monetization is good because it keeps the brand rolling, but it's just amazing looking at that and just be like, I don't give a fuck. And then there's ones with 2,000 subscribers. Every video is like 200,000 views.
It's tough to get iced out, especially when you're making such brilliant content and you see the shit that we're up against. And these marks who never paid a goddamn due in this business, never actually paid to be coached, never been in the ring, and they're getting 40, 50,000 to say some opinion that's completely unfounded and not professional and just from a fan's perspective. Sure, they might have a good show and they might have good points, but my point is the fact that those who should be put up on high a little bit more and used as the masters of this industry are taken out of the equation because some fucking dumb YouTube demonetization based on truthful opinion. It's just ridiculous, man. And it's maddening. It's Mark maddening.
Even he's made too much.
Yeah, man. But you want to support him? Obviously, you can see all the great pictures of him on his Instagram. It was at Stevie Richards. He's at BWO Stevie on Twitter. And he's producing all this content, not just for here, you guys, but Russo brand, hackerhameen.podbean.com, his own YouTube. He'll be up tomorrow with me to talk more bullshit wrestling stories from the sheets as we do the Ultra Kayfabe Friday Locker Room here live at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen around 8:30 in the morning. Go ahead, Stevie.
I got one more thing I wanted to push because somebody said it in the chat room. Jargo and I have planned to do a weekly football podcast, so we're going to cover all the divisions within the AFC and the NFC leading up. He wrote me a treatment on the first thing. It's amazing. So we're gonna do it like Pro Football Talk, where he's the official kind of like play-by-play guy, bringing all the stuff, and I'm sort of like the commentator guy who talks about it from an athlete's perspective. So it should be really good.
I love it. And I got to put Jargo over. I don't enough because I hear it from Ray. I hear it from Vickery that he is, just a master producer of having everything going that way. So to hear you guys working together on that, and he's already off to the races and excited about it. I know it's in great hands. And dude, that is one less stress I need and awesome content to keep bringing you guys. I just reached out to Molly Erdman today, so hopefully I'll have my first interview for Ha 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 Me in here pretty quick, because she is she's doing a lot of Elizabeth Warren stuff, and she looks like her, and she's one of my improv mentors, and I'm excited because Elizabeth Warren's gonna be red hot. So we can be in the underground out there first, because she's just going to go more and more viral. But check her out, Molly Erdman. If you're into political comedy, obviously Bello is, and I send him that stuff too. But more and more content along with everything you guys have known to grow and love. And we appreciate all the bits, all the T-shirt buys, all the messages, all the Stooge reports, everything you guys see in the news, and hit us up on Twitter, all the dirty turnbuckle gifts, and everybody who needs the appreciation. And I don't want to go too deep, but we've said it before. If you're having a rough day and you're thinking about ending your own life, reach out to us. And fortunately/unfortunately, I had one of our listeners have to do that this week. And I hope that, even in the brief time that we had to talk, that you were valued, and that we need you in this movement and a part of what we're doing. And even if things seem bleak right now, there's always a light down there, and we're marching down towards it together. So don't do anything fucking stupid. You always got the real good brothers here at the Conspiracy Horsemen Infidels, and we look out for one another because it's truth seeking. They're not going to shut us down. There's no fines. There's no lawyers that can stop us because we're above the law here at hackerhameen.podbean.com on your Conspiracy Horsemen. YOLO!